Fortunately, someone has put a helpful suggestion in here.
That looks like your handwriting.
Well, it's not. Anonymous has suggested that the leader of the Titans, Robin, that would be me, should teach more life lessons.
This is Jeff Brown again with Master Oogway. Master Oogway thought I didn't quite cover everything when we talked about credit cards last time, so we're going to talk about debt. Now, not all debt is necessarily bad. I want to tell you the difference between good debt and bad debt.
I thought the boring part was over.
It's all boring, but fun at the same time.
But mostly boring.
The most common types of good debt are student loans because that increases your earning power, and mortgages because that increases your equity, which we can talk about a little bit later. While college debt can seem scary, if you keep it manageable, it can actually increase your life satisfaction.
Taking on the amount of debt I've had, that's actually, I think it's paid off for me a lot. I'm doing something that I love to do. I feel like I'm pretty successful.
In retrospect, I'm at a job that I could never have dreamed of being in if I didn't go to the school I went to.
Now, if you remember, we talked about how time equals money, and so therefore debt is future time. So every time we get into debt, we're actually spending part of our future, which is why we need to be very careful.
I'm sucking life. I've just sucked 1 year of your life away.
Now, there are certain rules that we should probably follow to make sure we don't get overwhelmed, even with good debt. Just like the rules that we'd follow if we were landing a plane. That keeps us from crashing.
Gently now, you just want to kiss the ground. Just a little peck, a smooch like you're kissing your sister. I said kiss it!
Your total student debt should not typically go over what you're going to be making your first year out of college. So it's a good idea to know what you're going to be making with your particular job that you want to do.
I graduated undergrad with like $40,000 in debt, and I studied German. It's not like nobody needs someone who speaks German, and so I had a really hard time figuring out how I was going to pay my loans.
Oh, well, first I'm going to write a screenplay, and then I'm going to win a lot of Oscars. And then I'm going to have so much money that my debt doesn't matter anymore.
You want to make sure that you do your own math, because if you're listening to the banker or to the college counselor, then they may put you in more debt than you can actually handle, like this.
I have a $500 monthly payment that I have to make on all of my loans every month. And so, you know, you factor in rent and utilities and everything, and like I usually have about $100 extra a month for myself.
I now owe in interest every single month about $900 in debt, which means if I want to make any sort of headway between now and 2052, when I'm scheduled to pay it off, that I have to pay at least $1,200 a month every month.
So first thing to do to keep your student loans down is to keep your college costs down. Here's a few rules to think about as you're doing that.
Now just a little break, just a touch, a little whisper.
The first one is to shop around. Shop around for your college, look at the costs, and look at the benefits.
Excuse me, do you have anything by the Clash at Demon Head?
Have you tried the section marked The Clash at Demon Head?
Thank you, Julie.
Just because something costs a lot doesn't mean that it's high quality or that it fits your needs. When my daughter wanted to get her master's degree in a library science program, and she wanted to do it online, what we did is we looked at every program in the country. We checked the quality of each one according to rankings and other reviews, and we checked the cost against each of them. We found that cost did not necessarily mean quality in most cases, that there were some things that cost more but were a lower quality. The other thing that we found was there were about 3 universities that cost way less than all the others, and they were still high quality. So she chose from among those 3, was able to save about $30,000 total in her program and get something that really fit her needs. This is why it's important to be able to shop around.
I would say if you can go to a state college or a community college and get little or no loans and possibly transfer out of there, get scholarships, then just be open to that. I feel like I wasn't open enough to like community college and state college.
Also, be aware of psychological sales tactics and marketing tricks. Colleges use these also.
Well, now we've doubled the price, but we're telling the customer they're getting 50% off.
which means that Marjorie and me are still making £1. 50% off all marked prices.
Just because you get a $2,000 scholarship does not necessarily mean it's a good deal if it's really just taking $2,000 off of a $50,000 tuition.
Casualty report.
Only 2 passengers unaccounted for, Skipper.
That's a number I can live with. Good landing, boys. Who says a penguin can't fly?
I've talked with way too many kids whose basis for choosing a school had nothing to do with the cost or benefit, but how pretty the brochure was, or how far away from their parents it was, or all of those other kind of things. Now, if you can get your needs met with your education at a fraction of the cost, then your future self would love to come back and be able to thank you.
Somebody peed my pants, but I don't know if it was baby me or old me.
Time travel!
One of the things, Master Oogway, and I want to remind you to subscribe and like, and thanks for tuning in. We're going to get into more stuff on debt later.
We should be up and running in, say, 6 to 9 months.
69 months?
No, 6 to 9 months.